Hi everyone, this is CryptoBug operating CalCrypto channel. This channel is created to verify the proper value of coins listed on the crypto asset exchange. Many people say that cryptocurrency valuation by the traditional method is inappropriate. However, this CalCrypto channel will prove that it's not true. For reference, traditional methods refers to relative valuation methods such as EV/EBITDA or P-ratio. There are two versions of cryptocurrency valuation methodology, general theory and corporate governance. In this video, I will introduce the general theory. For reference, this methodology is registered with the Korea Copyright Commission and is under copyright protection. Accounting for the sale of crypto assets has yet to be determined. However, there are many consistent views on accounting for holdings, such as IFRS, US GAAP, and AICPA. So in this video, I just regard cryptocurrency as an intangible asset in order to derive the cryptocurrency valuation methodology. The evaluation target is non-security type cryptocurrency, excluding security type. If so, you might be wondering where to use this methodology. The first use is to calculate the public offering price when crypto asset exchanges conduct an IEO. The second use is to compare fair market value after listing with cryptocurrency valuation, just like target price in the stock market. You will see the three diagrams in the video. The balance sheet on the far left. This is what a typical corporate balance sheet looks like. The middle enterprise value diagram describes the capital item replaced by the market capitalization of the stock market. This will have the effect of increasing intangible assets. The far right shows the process of calculating crypto value by separating increased intangible asset. Now let me explain one by one. As we all know, liabilities and equity make up assets. These assets are classified into tangible assets, intangible assets, and other assets. For convenience, the other assets were not diagrammed in the video. It is noteworthy that the book value of the intangible asset consists of non-intellectual capital and intellectual capital. Typical intellectual capital includes industrial property rights, development costs, license, etc. Whereas goodwill, software, membership, etc. would be non-intellectual capital. Intangible assets classified as intellectual assets here are closely related to the increase by market capitalization on the next page. If the capital is replaced by the market capitalization of the stock market, the enterprise value will be calculated. This enterprise value results in the increase in intellectual capital. The next screen is the breakdown of the increased intellectual capital of intangible assets. What you see on the screen is not the result of my personal imagination. I just introduced the contents of the research results by Korea Intellectual Property Office, KIPO, and Korea Institute of Intellectual Property, KIIP. In the white paper for cryptocurrency, most important fact is manpower, cold team, and technology. According to the research result of KIPO and KIIP, intangible assets can be classified into customer capital, human capital, and structural capital. Among these, human capital and structural capital match with manpower and technology in the white paper. So I defined human capital and structural capital as crypto value and named the portion of the crypto value in intellectual capital crypto weight. People usually say the white paper should be composed of four kinds of T's. The first T is team, which is manpower or organization. The second T is tech, which is technology or intellectual property. The timeline and token are incidental. So according to the Korean Intellectual Property Office and Korean Institute of Intellectual Property, manpower and technology in the white paper correspond to human capital and structural capital. These can be obtained through accounting expenditure accounts in the fiscal statement, the report states. I introduced these previous research results into my cryptocurrency valuation methodology. This was the first time in the world, so copyright registration was successful. This is the process of calculating crypto value in details. I named this process crypto value formula. First of all, let's look at the definition of some terms before explaining the contents. These are general terms used in valuation, which may be unfamiliar to those who are new to it. In additional video shoots in the future, I will introduce the process of calculating the value of the actual listed cryptocurrency, so you can skip it for now. And the equity market value in the square box below means the market capitalization. Depending on the issue is listed or not, you can choose one of two calculation methods. EV has already been explained. It will be easier to understand if you refer to the diagram at the bottom right. ITA value in the square box stands for intangible asset value, which means intellectual capital increased by market capitalization. ITA value can be obtained by subtracting tangible asset, non-intellectual capital, and other assets from enterprise value. Other assets are omitted here for convenience. After this deduction, intellectual capital is calculated out of intangible asset increased by market capitalization. I have already explained the intellectual capital consists of customer capital, human capital, and structural capital. Finally, the crypto value is calculated by multiplying ITA value by crypto weight. For reference, crypto weight is calculated by the portion of crypto value in intellectual capital. In 2017, financial authorities banned ICO for the sake of investor protection. So the blockchain industry had difficulty in raising capital. As a result, IO became an alternative. But there was no proper way to calculate the crypto value. So it was hard time because there was no cryptocurrency valuation methodology. However, if you use the methodology introduced here in the video, you can transparently calculate the fair value without such difficulties. The reason why I opened this methodology is that I got the answer from the newspaper. It is impossible to publish article under the private rather than organization. Similarly, I got the feedback from the crypto asset exchange that my methodology is not the one they are looking for. I felt that they are looking for the calculation model such as Black-Scholes. However, what I can tell you for sure through this video is that cryptocurrency is not derivative, so it is impossible to find the crypto value. The point is that the value of the cryptocurrency can never be calculated by a model like Black-Scholes. Why? This is probably because cryptocurrency has no underlying asset. Therefore, the valuation model based on accounting approach, such as the methodology introduced here, is inevitably appropriate. Now, I wrap the first video here. From the next video, I will calculate the real crypto value through the actual cases. Materials related to the video can be downloaded from the blog, Invitation to the Invisible World. Like, subscribe, alarm is a big help to me. Thank you.